Yo, what's good, my peoples? This your boy, Big Chris, content animator. Welcome to my YouTube page. And tonight, we're gonna talk about Summer Slam 2013 WWE. So first, we're gonna kick this off with talking about the Summer Slam hype. This is probably the best hype up to a pay-per-view this year for WWE. I really liked a lot of the hype up to the pay per view. Really good hype by CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman. The Bray Wyatt stuff was that shit was fucking like phenomenal. Bray Wyatt's probably my favorite character in the show right now. He's really good. Daniel Bryan, CM Punk. Well, let me see how you see it. Daniel Bryan, John Cena. That shows you how much I want Daniel Bryan to be against fight CM Punk again. But Daniel Bryan, John Cena was really good. Daniel Bryan really stepped it up this year. Let's see what else was good. Oh, the Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes. So yeah, it had a lot of great hype. Even the stuff that didn't have that much hype, like the kickoff one, the Shield. I mean, it's Dean Ambrose versus Rob Van Dam had, even though he had a week's worth of hype, had some pretty good hype and some really good promos cut by the Shield for the last week. So yeah, I was pretty hyped up to SummerSlam, and we started off this year's SummerSlam with a match with, what's the boy's name? Dean Ambrose versus Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam! Yeah. This is a pretty good match. Some nice moves. Two really great characters in the ring with Rob Van Dam and Dean Ambrose. I like seeing that Dean Ambrose coming out by himself first to show, I got this type shit. And Rob Van Dam also coming out by himself. Really great crowd pop. This was at the Staples Center, so my hometown, LA. So that was really good. Let's see, the match itself, like I said, was pretty great. Not great, but it was good. A lot of good moves between both guys. The Shield coming out afterwards, and then Big Show and Mark Henry coming out after that. That was pretty cool. The finish, it was a nice finish. What's his name? Roman Reigns spearing Rob Van Dam after the five-star frog splash. So yeah, that was pretty good. Fucking Big Show and Mark Henry was slow as hell getting into that ring, so it gave the Shield enough time to get out and run their way. So yeah, Rob Van Dam wins by DQ, and hopefully this is a continuation of the storyline. And for me, I'm liking it. This gets the Shield back into, not the main event picture, but at least bringing up the mid card up some more. So yeah, it was pretty good. Next match was the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt versus Kane in a Ring of Fire match. And this match was okay. I mean, pretty much mediocre to me. Kane is really slow. I mean, the dude is getting up there in age. And I like Kane. I've always liked Kane. But the dude is getting old. And to me, not only you dealing with a Ring of Fire, or I'm gonna call it an Inferno match, where the outside of the ring is set on fire, and you got these guys going in and doing their thing in the middle of the ring, but you also got Kane wrestling. So you got two deterrents to the match that's not making it too great. If it was a better, younger wrestler in there with Bray Wyatt, I think we would have had a better match. Because, it's not a lot of oxygen in that ring, and Kane is already slow as it is. It was a pretty okay outside interference from the Wyatt family. Some nice spots. I always gonna love seeing the flames jump up every time somebody hits the mat. So yeah, that was pretty okay. But just a mediocre match overall. Also, the Bray Wyatt entrance is fucking phenomenal. I love that entrance. Next match came with Cody Rhodes versus Dean Ambrose. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Sandow. Nice promo cut before the match with Damian Sandow. Cody Rhodes come to the ring with the mustache off. I don't know how I think about the mustache being on. I actually really liked it. The whole 70 porn star look. That was my shit. But yeah, so yeah. The match itself was a really good match. Both of these dudes showed their stuff. Damian Sandow, more technical, more mat-based wrestling guy. Cody Rhodes, kind of, I wouldn't call him a high flyer, but quicker wrestler, more into the strikes. He had a good, what's it called, a muscle buster off of the second, not off the second rope, but taking Damian Sandow off of the second ropes and hitting the muscle buster. Disaster kick, and then I forget what was the last move to lead up to the end, but yeah, it was a pretty good match. Picked up the pace from the last match and got the crowd back into it, and Cody Rhodes coming out with the win, which is pretty good to me because Cody Rhodes has been having a mediocre few years by not catching a lot of wins ever since he had the Intercontinental belt. So I like seeing him get a pay-per-view win, and I'm praying for this dude's face turn. I hope it goes well for him. The next match, the next match is Alberto Del Rio, the World Heavyweight Champion, versus Christian in a title match. This match was really fucking good. I mean, these dudes have great chemistry in the ring. Some great moves being displayed tonight. I think the best move for me was the Alberto Del Rio counters a spear from Christian with a drop kick to the face, and that shit looked real as fuck. It was really good. That's the type of shit when wrestlers do moves like that. That's when, I say, as they say, mark out. That's when I go crazy. And yeah, that was a really good move. Alberto Del Rio came to the ring with fucking black eyes and shit. So that kind of sold it a little bit more. Alberto Del Rio came with the win for the night, and at the end of the match says he's the king of Latins or some shit like that. But we're in LA, so he's basically playing up to the Latin crowd. So yeah, I mean, pretty good. No, it was a good match. Good match. I'm happy Alberto Del Rio won. I didn't really want Christian to win. So yeah, let's go to the next match. Next match is a Divas match. It was an okay match. Okay to start. I like seeing Natalya in the pay-per-view once again. That's a wrestler who's she's not getting what she deserves in this company. She deserves a lot more than she's getting. She's a very good wrestler, very good submission, whatever you call it, and she deserves way better than what she's getting right now. And I'm liking that the Total Divas TV show is at least getting her more stardom back into the ring. So that's pretty cool to me. It was a pretty okay match. What's that chick? Eva Mendes. I don't know if that's her name, but Eva Maria or whatever her name is. That chick is fucking fine. A redheaded chick. Yeah, she's bad. But yeah, pretty good match. The crowd wasn't into it at all. So I just hope that the Divas division gets back on its feet and just starts moving back forward. It's already starting with AJ Lee as champion. I think that girl AJ Lee is really doing some okay things for the division. So hopefully with her as champion and with the Divas TV show, that these girls can at least start getting back onto the show and getting better in the ring. After that, we get a backstage segment with Ryback and basically bullying a catering guy. I'm with a lot of people. I haven't really liked the Ryback character ever since his heel turn. It's been okay. It hasn't been as bad as other people saying it's been, but because he hasn't been getting the wins, it hasn't been that great. But the thing he's been doing recently with the whole big time bullying the guys in the back thing has been really, it's been funny to me. I liked it. So hopefully this means that he gets his character out there and becomes better or whatever they're going to have him do. I would like to see him go against Kofi Kingston. I think that would be a pretty good match, and being that he was the one that got injured Kofi, that would take it on to wherever they want to go with it. Next, okay, CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar. Probably match of the year. Fucking phenomenal match. The hype for this match was crazy good. The match itself was probably best of the year. Brock Lesnar, fucking. I'm not a big Brock Lesnar fan, but tonight he was a fucking beast. The dude came out, did his thing, and he was beast tonight. A lot of good moves. I like that they start off with Brock Lesnar being, really just demanding fucking CM Punk up in a corner, and then leading on to outside where CM Punk started to come back, jumping off of the table and getting him. Brock Lesnar throwing Punk over the table, and then laying what's that shit called? The cover to the announcer's table over CM Punk, laying it over CM Punk, and then doing that Bruce Lee jump and slam onto him. That was pretty cool. And what else with the match? It was a lot of good spots in this match. This is a good match. The knee from the top rope, like what do you call it? A flying knee from the top rope onto Brock Lesnar. That was tight. Also, Brock Lesnar's doing those suplexes on the CM Punk. CM Punk was taking that very well. Brock Lesnar sold a lot of the hits and a lot of the moves in this match. He was pretty good tonight. He was very good tonight. Paul Heyman on the outside and his interferences was great tonight. This is a phenomenal match. Probably best match for a while. CM Punk, dude, best in the world. He hasn't really been, as far as match wise, been the greatest for the past few weeks ever since he's came back. But tonight, that dude deserves his fucking title. Even though I haven't said this yet, but he lost. Yeah. Even though in a loss, it was still really good. I mean, even though it was an interference that caused the loss, CM Punk did his thing. Also, I don't know if you call it jiu-jitsu, but all the submission stuff that CM Punk was throwing on tonight, fuck it, great. It was. I like the way that they didn't make it a MMA match, but they used a lot of MMA tactics in the match. It helped the match out a lot, and it made it a lot better. So yeah, I mean, fucking phenomenal match. I can't stop talking about this match. I have to move on. That was a good match. Next, Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn versus AJ Lee and Big E. Okay match. I mean, it's not mediocre. It was a little bit above that. I think I would give it probably like a 6. Dolph Ziggler and what's the bitch chick's name? I call her a bitch. Sorry. What's the chick's name? Caitlyn. It was a pretty okay match. Them two came out with the win. Dolph Ziggler hitting the zigzag on Big E was the finish. The one thing I did like was that AJ Lee showed a lot more of her moveset in this match, so that was pretty cool. Big E and Dolph did their thing. We seen them on SmackDown and Raw, so we already know that them two have great chemistry. I just hope that this means that Dolph Ziggler gets to move on and AJ Lee gets to move on. Caitlyn goes wherever she's going to go. AJ Lee needs to go against better. I want her to go against Naomi. That's my thing. Her and Naomi would be a great match. Dolph Ziggler going back to the world title scene, that's going to be great. This, to me, was the match to say, okay, enough, let's move on. I mean, that's why I was happy that they just said, okay, let's have a match and let's move on now. Um, Last match of the night, another really good match. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. I always say this. John Cena is an okay wrestler, but he's a great worker. When John Cena works with good dudes, he's going to have a phenomenal match. When he works with a mediocre wrestler, somebody that can't bring him up, his matches are going to be mediocre. So whoever he's wrestling against is going to be how the match is going to be. Great spots in this match. A lot of Daniel Bryan reversing John Cena, John Cena reversing Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan putting John Cena in his own STF. That was really good. A lot of on the rope moves. I think John Cena did his best leg drop off the top rope he's ever done. John Cena, ever done. Daniel Bryan sold that pretty fucking awesome. What else happened in the match? It was a really good match. I couldn't remember a lot of the things that happened because it was a lot of moves being done. I think John Cena was trying to show that he can wrestle, which he can, but Daniel Bryan really pushed John Cena to his limits in this match. He really made John Cena go out of his moveset, and you could tell John Cena was back there practicing a lot for this match. The match ended with Daniel Bryan hitting John Cena with, I don't know if they call it a Shining Wizard, but he hit him with a jumping knee and knocked the shit out of John Cena. So it was a pretty good ending. I always said this, that Daniel Bryan needs his own finisher besides the label lock. He needed something else that was going to help him finish a match. And I think that is a pretty good one, along with the headbutt, just like Alberto Del Rio has his kicks now. So yeah, Daniel Bryan ended it with that jumping knee and became the new WWE champion. And I look, he marked out. I was getting hyped for that shit. That shit was really good. And then Randy Orton comes to the ring and kind of not distracts Daniel Bryan, but both of them look eye to eye. And Triple H pedigrees Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton comes in and cashes in the Money in the Bank. I really didn't want this to happen. I wanted Daniel Bryan to, get the belt and at least have it for about a week or so before he gets it cashed in. Before Randy Orton cashes in on him. But the way it did it, I thought it was pretty cool. With Triple H being the one that turns his back on Daniel Bryan. And it looks like we may even have the restart of Evolution now, with Triple H and Randy Orton holding hands in the air together. Randy Orton's heel turn, so I guess that's where we're going. But other than that, it was a really good Summer Slam tonight. Just like last year, it was really good. So yeah, if I had to score it, 8.5 out of 10. It was pretty good. Most of the matches were good. You had the WWE title, World title, Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk versus the Beast. Cody Rhodes match was good. Who else? The Divas matches were okay. The only downside to tonight was the the Inferno match, which was not really that great. But other than that, it was a pretty good night. And y'all have a great night. Check me out on wherever. Just hit me up, type in Compton Animator or Big Chris 145, and you'll find me anywhere. I'll also probably post a link of wherever my work is. And y'all have a great night. Peace.